Hooray, Kora! Jaslyn was able to graduate from med school on her first attempt at the exam, and with a score higher than anybody else in her class. I can't believe my wonderful little girl was able to do that.
Really? That's great to hear. Then that means tonight we'll go with the plan we had and celebrate her accomplishment.
That's right. We need to celebrate her with all the energy we have. I've already made sure to reserve a table at a really high-class restaurant. Sorry to have to ask you this, but do you mind giving that restaurant a call for me in order to change the number of people on the reservation? Tell them that instead of 4 people, there will only be 3 coming.
What? Is Dad not going to be able to make it to dinner tonight or something? Did he have to go in and perform an emergency surgery or something? Really is a tough job being the head surgeon for that hospital.
That's not at all what's happened, you idiot. I've already spoken with your dad to take today off from work, and that means your dad will be there to celebrate Jaslyn's accomplishment tonight.
Then who's going to be absent tonight from dinner?
You, of course. Kora, you don't have to come out with us to celebrate after all tonight.
What? Why can't I come? I want to come out with you all as well to celebrate her graduating from college.
If you're there for the dinner, then the whole celebration will be a complete waste for her. Because you are a complete failure that was never able to make it into any college.
What?
Now, you should be completely aware of just how useless of a woman you really are to us. In this family, both your grandmother and grandfather, as well as your dad, have all become doctors. Yet, then we have you, who decided to fail at entering any kind of college. Thankfully, your little sister was able to do as we had hoped and passed her exam on her first try. Don't you feel like total garbage now being her older sister?
Well, of course I'm a bit sad having to remember what happened back then, but it's not something that really bothered me since then. Sure, I didn't get into any college you guys wanted me to go to, but at the moment I'm going to nursing school, right? I don't have to necessarily become a doctor in order to work in the world of medicine, right?
Quit talking like a complete fool over there. You know that the only thing that matters in the world of medicine is becoming a doctor. All you nurses are the complete failures that were never able to make it to becoming a doctor. When comparing yourself to the rest of this family, you are nothing more than a lowlife.
What?
Yet we still did not want you to be completely without a job, and that's why we allowed you to go to nursing school. However, now your little sister has made our dreams come true by passing that exam first try. All we need is her in our lives now. We have no use for you now, so you can gather all your things and leave this house at once.
You want me to leave the house? You're kicking me out of the house?
That's right. We don't need a failure like you in this family. And of course, once you're out of here, we won't be paying for you to attend that school anymore.
Excuse me? That would mean my only choice would be to drop out of school, right?
And when that happens, you'll only be seen as a failure high school dropout, right? It's unbelievable that from a family of doctors, a high school graduate had to come out of it. I feel sorry for all of your ancestors now.
I get that both you and Dad see me as an embarrassment, and I am very sorry for not living up to both of your expectations. But can't you both at least wait until after I've graduated from nursing school before kicking me out? I promise that once I become an RN, I will leave the house and never come back.
We're not waiting on that to happen. We can't stand having a low-lifer like you living inside the house any longer with the rest of us. That's why while your dad and I are out with Jaslyn today, you clean up all your things and get out. Which means you'd better not still be home by the time we're back.
No way.
An uneducated daughter like you will never be coming back to this family ever again. And that's because you are no longer our daughter anymore. Excuse me, Kora. Why are you here right now? Nobody ever invited you to be at this wedding today. Where the hell did you even get into this venue from?
What? Is that you, Mom? It's been a very long time since I last heard from you. And what the hell is this about?
You are not going to play stupid with me. I will not have you coming into your own sister's wedding like this when you weren't even invited here to be a guest for anyone in the first place.
What? Today's wedding is for Jaslyn as well?
You're making it look like you're some kind of guest here today, sitting out in that chair of yours. But a failure like you was never invited to this wedding, so stop trying to even act like you're meant to be here today. Hurry up and get the hell out of here.
You have it all wrong, Mom. A lot has happened these past 10 years, all right? And I really had no idea today was Jaslyn's wedding, of all things.
What has happened the past 10 years that would allow you to be sitting here today? Are you going to tell me you've been invited here today by Jaslyn herself? Our pride and joy would never, ever invite a failure of a sister like you to her wedding. Absolutely not. Now stop trying to make me laugh.
So even though it's been a decade now, you're still only going to call me a failure, huh?
But as always, there certainly is a chance you've gotten somewhere in life. So let me go and have a chat with Jaslyn herself about you. And until I'm finished talking with her, don't you move an inch from that chair. I will not have a failure like you walking around with all the guests at my daughter's wedding today. I had a chat with Jaslyn about you. And like I was saying before, she did not invite you to her wedding today. So where the hell did you trespass into this wedding from today? I guess having to live as a homeless woman for the past decade has really made you desperate.
Excuse me? Whoever said I was living as a homeless person this whole time?
Well, you can't be anyone else considering you are an uneducated failure that was kicked out of their own family's house. I know for a fact that you haven't been able to find a decent job anywhere and can't afford the rent in this town. And of course, you heard about the wedding happening today from somewhere, didn't you? I'm sure you're here now to beg for us to let you back into the family, right?
You're wrong, Mom. I really had no clue at all that today's bride would turn out to be Jaslyn, of all people.
Really? So you came all the way to this wedding without even knowing who the bride would be? No way that could have been the case. In other words, you are so poor right now that you had to make a last-ditch effort by barging into this family's wedding.
What?
Considering you probably don't have a meaningful job anywhere, every day you're having to go without food, right? That's why you went and forced someone to let you into this wedding today, in hopes of getting yourself some free food. All weddings have some of the most delicious food you can eat, right? I can't believe I'm having to deal with this today. All of you failures really do live in complete and utter poverty, don't you?
I would never force my way into this wedding for food. So would you please stop calling me a poor person like that?
Now you're starting to freak out because I'm speaking truth, right?
Huh?
I'm sure you were shocked to see just how fancy today's food is going to be, right? After all, today is the big day for our little doctor daughter and her fiance. She had to get all of the best scores in school and graduated in one go from that school. And when it comes to her now husband, I believe he's an exceptional doctor as well. He is so well off, like our Jaslyn, that your dad and I have no complaints to say about him. And that means we had to have a wedding like no other for them today.
I can see that. This wedding is looking very fancy. The moment I came into the venue today, I could just tell by all the decorations that this was going to be an expensive one. And while everyone's been waiting around, I've seen the staff going around with champagne for the guest.
And the menu for today's course is also very lavish. Things like caviar and lobster, as well as foie gras. We had to make sure that everyone here today got to eat well as a celebration for our pride and joy.
And that is also very amazing.
However, when it comes to you, you're not supposed to be here today. Kora, you aren't eating anything from here today, so get your ass out of here. A failure like you needs to behave like the impoverished you are and go find some leftovers in the trash by wherever your cardboard house is. If you don't leave right now, I'll have you labeled as a trespasser, and we don't want that now, do we? So get out of this venue right now.
I told you that I'm not trespassing by being at this wedding today, all right? Now, would you give me a chance to tell my side of the story?
You really are an annoyingly rude bitch, aren't you? Nobody ever invited the poor to be here. And that means there is no seat here for a failure like you.
I was invited by the groom to be here today.
What?
Which means I have a seat here today and am allowed to feast on this fine food that's being prepared. So even if I'm a failure and never become a doctor like you wanted, I'm still allowed to be here at this wedding today.
What do you mean? Why would the groom invite you to his wedding today? Don't tell me that he had to invite you to be here out of pity for you. There's no way a man of his nature would do such a thing. And as far as I'm aware, you haven't gone to talk with the groom yet.
Are you sure?
I am very sure. And we haven't told him about you either, since all you are to this family of doctors is a disgrace. So there is no way a man like him went and invited you to be here today. That's because he doesn't know anything about you and only thinks that we have one daughter, Jaslyn.
So you guys have been completely hiding my existence from him? All I did was not make it into college like you wanted, yet you all treat me like the devil. You damn assholes.
Shut your mouth right now. Now you explain to me right now what the hell you meant by him inviting you to be here. Why the hell would he invite you of all people?
Because I happen to be his boss.
What? Did you just say you're his boss? A failure like you is his boss?
As a matter of fact, yes. Even though I was a failure to you all and had to be kicked out of the house because of it. Yet right now I'm running a clinic of my own and happen to have employed Jaslyn's husband. I am the one who owns the clinic, and I've been doing my best to make it a success for all that need help.
Huh. There is no way you're the owner of that clinic. Having to run and operate a clinic or hospital from the very top is a tough job, and you have to be able to think critically. That is not the kind of career a failure can obtain.
Well, I've gone and obtained such a career because I happen to marry a hospital owner like my husband.
Huh? You're married right now? And married to the owner of a hospital?
That's right. I had a really good run-in with him the first time, and we've been married for 3 years now. And it just so happened that the man I married owned and ran a hospital. And as his wife, I've helped him expand it by running a clinic based from said hospital.
Why would someone like him marry you? He should never have gone out with an uneducated failure like you.
After being kicked out of the house, I had no choice but to drop out of nursing school. And from there, every day was like hell for me, living in complete shock. But at one point in time, I remembered something. I had finally become free to live as a person I wanted to be, and that led me down a new path. So with all the tools at my disposal, which wasn't a lot, I was able to start going to classes during the evening that were a lot cheaper for me.
You went to school during the evening?
Up until now, all I could do was what you and Dad told me to do without any choice at all in the matter. Even if I didn't want to become a doctor, you both forced me down that path and wouldn't even give me a centimeter of leeway. But once you guys kicked me out of the house, I finally got a taste of what freedom was like. So after having found a job of my own and having decided what my schedule would be, the days off that I had were used for school. And that is where I first met my husband at.
Are you serious?
He was going to the same school as me during the day and was aiming to become a doctor at the time. And unlike you all, instead of laughing at a failure like myself, he would make time to study with me after he finished his lessons and after I finished work. He told me that even if I didn't want to become a doctor, I already went through a lot of training to become a nurse, and there were plenty of jobs in the world that could use what I learned. And from there, he was supporting me wherever I chose to go.
And that then led to you both getting married? Even though you never said anything to either of your parents about it?
What's the point of telling two people that kicked me out of their lives? You were the one that literally told me you only had one daughter, and that was Jaslyn, right?
I know what I said then.
I never thought that I'd be having to meet you all again at this here wedding today. I heard the bride's first name when I was invited, but just thought that she was another woman named Jaslyn. And the groom told me that unlike the Jaslyn I know, he would be marrying a Jaslyn that is an only child. But now I found out that you guys were just hiding my existence from him this whole time, right?
No way. This cannot be happening. A failure like you. You're the groom's boss of all people.
And I came here today to enjoy his wedding as his boss. I promise not to say anything to you all, so don't worry about me hanging around. Now, that's all I have left to say.
I never thought I'd be meeting you again at my very own wedding of all places. I was very shocked by that one.
Your wedding today was really nice, Jaslyn. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much, Kora. But here's the thing. If you're really that happy about the wedding today, don't you think the amount you've given isn't enough?
Excuse me?
Mom and Dad gave me a ton of money as a gift for today. They also paid for half of this insanely pricey wedding for me. Yet all we got from you today was around $50. For this being the wedding of your little sister, shouldn't there be an extra zero on this check?
I was thrown out and am no longer a part of your family anymore. I only came to that wedding as your husband's boss, and so I gave what I thought would be an appropriate amount.
Stop going on and on about that and give me some more money. As the owner of his clinic, you should have a ton of money right now, correct?
You say that, but as a doctor, you should be well off, right? Especially after having worked for 10 years now. So you shouldn't be as worried about a little bit of money like you're sounding now.
I'm not in any need of money right now, but I want a lot more. I have started thinking about making a hospital of my own in the near future, actually.
Oh, that's a really great goal to have.
We are all a family of doctors, yet they all work for the hospital and don't actually run anything, right? Since I know I can do it, I'd like to have a hospital of my own. But when it comes down to opening up a massive hospital, that takes quite a lot of money, and that's what I want right now. Hearing now that you run a clinic of your own is some great news to my ears. So start giving your cute little sister a lot of money, please.
No, thank you. You aren't my family anymore, Jaslyn. So no matter how much you expect from me, you're not getting another cent.
Oh, so that's what you have to say to me. Then I guess I'll have my husband leave your clinic now.
What?
As of right now, all of the hospitals and clinics within this region are in need of doctors, right? So, if you were to lose a doctor like him right now, you'd be in a pretty tough situation, right? If you don't start giving me a lot of money right now, I'm going to have my husband leave his job there.
So that's your way of threatening me now.
Actually, if you'd like to, instead of giving me more money, how about you just give my husband the raise of a lifetime? Either way, you start sending money my way right now. If you don't, I'll really have my husband quit, and your little clinic will be in trouble.
Then please, get him to quit right now. That would make me feel a lot better about my operation here.
What? You don't want him to quit, even though you will be the one in trouble for losing a precious doctor like him?
If you didn't know this already, your husband is rather a mouthy doctor here. And from what all of my patients have told me about him, he's not a great man to work with and be cared for by at all.
What?
So if you could have him quit right now, that would be a massive help to me. I understand that a lot of hospitals are having issues with not having enough doctors, but that's not the case here. And considering that my clinic receives doctors from my husband's hospital all the time, I'm not in any need of him.
Are you kidding me?
Actually, right now I'm already planning on getting someone new here to work for us really soon. So if you can get your husband out of here, that would be the best. Thank you so much, Jaslyn.
What?
Now, could you get to work on doing that for me? I'll be waiting on his letter of resignation to come to my office.
Hey, Kora. Let's go out for a coffee sometime soon. Or how about we go to the spa for a day or two?
What the hell is this? I'm nothing to you now, yet you're inviting me out like that?
Don't be so cold right now, please. Even if ties were cut for a bit, you and I are still related to one another by blood, right? And I was thinking, since it's been such a long time now, you and I could get together as mother and daughter and spend some time.
I'm not listening to your BS, Mom. I know that your pride and joy is in trouble right now, and that's why you want to come back to me. Has her husband still not found that new job she was so confident in after she made him quit?
Why do you know about that?
Because, like I told you before, I was his boss. A little while ago, she came into my office with his letter of resignation and handed it to me. She came up to my desk and told me she would not allow her husband to work for such a disgusting and toxic woman before slamming it down on my paperwork. I made sure to get him out of the clinic that day, but man, have the rumors been crazy about him. Him and Jaslyn are both so self-centered that nobody is willing to hire him.
That's all the truth. We thought that him being a doctor would mean he could find another job right away, but they always complain when the salary he is offered isn't enough. They also said that any hospital or clinic in the countryside is a no, and any hospital or clinic in an area of crime is a no. I never thought that those two would be so self-centered about everything.
He did manage to marry someone like Jaslyn, so it makes sense he's just as bad as her. I heard that his family is the same as yours, being all doctors and having been raised only to become one. Because of that, his selfish parents turned him into the same self-centered prick Jaslyn is, and that's why he won't work anywhere but the perfect place for himself. To be straight up, he may be a doctor, but he's one hell of a bad one.
And from what Jaslyn told me, she's not taking care of him anymore. And because of that, they have been both asking for money from us to support them while he's out of a job. They're both causing us some serious headaches right now, actually. But unlike her, we can see just how amazing you've turned out.
What?
You've really made a wonderful name for yourself. Kora, you really are my pride and joy. So from here on out, let's become close to one another again. I'll apologize to you for everything that happened before today. And kicking you out of the house was because we wanted to send our cute little girl on an adventure. Really, having to be so far away from you all this time has been tough on your dad and I.
Then you'd better get used to me staying on this adventure for the rest of your life. I'm not going back to any of you guys, so you can stop talking to me now.
What?
I promise to continue doing my best with the support of my husband, okay? I won't ever rely on either of you like I had to in the past as a kid, and will even make sure to live my life never even thinking of you guys as my parents.
Wait. What are you saying right now? I'm asking that we become close to one another again, aren't I?
I'm aware of that, and I completely understand where you're coming from. You sent your cute little girl on an adventure, right? And I'm reciprocating that feeling back to you by saying that I'll continue to go on this adventure for you.
What?
And that's because I'm a failure, right? So I have to continue doing my best to make everything up to you and Dad. And as a part of that, I need to continue said adventure for the rest of my life. I promise not only to do my best to never be a failure again for you guys, but to also do as you said to me and never come back.
Wait a second. That's not what I meant when I said that. Anyway, I'd like to take a day to meet with you again. Sorry for having been so cold to you before. I promise to apologize for everything. So please come back to us and be our family again.
I'm sorry. I have a meeting today and tomorrow that will take up a lot of my time. Goodbye forever now. I promise to continue doing my best for you all, and I hope you guys continue doing well yourselves. Right after I had had my last word, I went and deleted my parents' contact info as well as my sister's. Having realized that not too long after, they both came storming into my clinic together. However, I had already called the police to come out, and when they came into the clinic, the police told them to both put their arms behind their backs and walk them out in cuffs. I was told by the officer that I could take them both to court for not only trespassing into my clinic after hours, but also attempting to harm me, as my dad was carrying a scalpel as he came in. So I did just that, and not as a way of getting any money out of them, but rather to scare them both into never messing with me again. And after my lawyer had a talk with both of them about the event, they never ever came near me again. Now, when it comes to Jaslyn and her husband, it seems that the husband has still not found a place to start working yet. Right now, he's living like a parasite to her, relying on her income for everything from housing to paying for his food. Because of that, Jaslyn has lost all of the money she had saved up for a hospital of her own, as well as all of her savings in general.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Katie, I heard all about it. You guys were able to buy yourselves a house. What kind of house is it? Where did you guys end up buying it at? Where's the house located? Are you guys close to any bus stops or subway stations?
Hello, Eleanor. We were planning to start telling everyone about the new house after we moved in and got comfortable, but it seemed like you heard about us from someone else first.
So, when did you guys move in?
We were still working on the paperwork, so it'll be a bit until we're completely moved in. We'll be going to the place with a moving truck once those papers are all taken care of.
When will that be?
Around the beginning of next month, we think.
The beginning of next month? And how many rooms are in the place?
Do you mind asking your brother about all that?
He won't ever tell me anything about your new house. He's always been such a selfish little boy.
Well, if he's not willing to tell you anything, then what makes you think that I will? I'm sorry, but until he begins to talk more about the house, I'm going to refrain from answering you.
Huh? Hold on a second. What the heck? And who do you think you are? I'm the one asking you a question here, and that means when you get asked a question by me, you answer it.
I feel really bad having to say this to you, but neither Jackson or I want to tell you very much detail about our new house we just bought, so please leave us be for the time being.
Why should I? What about me asking about my younger brother's house is so wrong here?
Ever since him and I started to become serious, you have always been around us, whether that be when our parents finally met with one another or when I went on trying wedding dresses. You were always around, right? Then you would always talk over us whenever we were discussing things, like this is your relationship and not ours. I'm sorry, but we didn't start dating and get married just so we could be bossed around by you, alright?
I'm just thinking about the both of you, since you're both amateurs when it comes to everything. And that's why I help you both out by telling you what I think. Yet for some reason, neither of you ever listen to me, and just do things the way you both like to. Had you both actually took what I was saying seriously, your guys' wedding would have been so much better.
Then please, when you decide to find a man of your own and get married, put those ideas of yours to good use and have a wonderful wedding.
You don't have to tell me that.
By the way, when it came to our honeymoon, you tried to come along with us as well, right?
That was just the place I had always been wanting to go, so I thought it would be the perfect time to tag along with you both. That's why I said I'd be coming along.
And what did you think would happen when you asked us to pay for you to come with us, even though it was our honeymoon?
Well, you never did end up getting me a hotel room or anything, so I was never able to come to the end.
And we use that money in order to buy lots of souvenirs for everyone, right? By the way, I've never heard of any couple wanting their family coming along with them when they go on their honeymoon. So you're not going to tell me about your new house because you're still upset over all of that. I am Jackson's older sister. And what do you plan to do with all that information you want to get from us about that place? You already know what I plan to do. I'm going to live with the both of you. Live with the both of us? It's just the both of you going there, right? And even if you guys have kids, all you're going to need is 2 bedrooms. So I'm just going to assume there's 2 or 3 rooms in the house, as well as a kitchen and dining room. Also a living room and bathroom, right? As long as there's all of that there, then that should be perfect for the 3 of us living together. I can stay there as long as you guys don't have kids yet, if there's only 2 bedrooms, right? You did say the place is a house, right? Which means there has to be plenty of room in that place, so I'm expecting an empty room that you both won't be using yet. And what you're thinking is that you can just come crashing into our new house and live in that room? Don't be so rude. I'm not gonna come crashing into your house. I'm just being kind by allowing you both the privilege of having me to live with you. Having a lot of people in the house is a lot more exciting, right? I have been wanting a brand new house for so long now. Well, this is going to be Jackson's and my house, so no thank you. I'm sure you guys just bought that house because you won the lottery, right? So don't be such stingy jerks when you have all that money now. How come you know about that? Well, why else would you be having such a lovely house? I'm looking forward to it. If you guys are planning on moving in at the beginning of next month, expect me to be there at the month after that. I'll start preparing myself for the move over there. I never said that you could come and live with us. What's wrong with the older sister coming to live with her little brother? And by having me around in the future, when you guys have kids, you can use me to take care of them. When you guys are buying furniture for the place, please let me know. I'll be kind by coordinating what all you guys are allowed to buy. I don't trust whatever sense the 2 of you have. I already had to witness your guys' awful wedding before. No, thank you. Jackson, I got another 15 calls today from your sister today. She also sent me a bunch of texts talking about how she wants to coordinate what furniture we buy for the house. She even sent me pictures of what she wants. I feel that no matter what I say to her, she's not going to listen.
I'm sorry, Katie. I really feel bad about how much of a pain my sister is. She has been trying to get a hold of me by call and text so much that I just went and muted all her notifications. She's still family to me, so I can't block her or anything. But she's nothing to you, so you can go right ahead and block her if you want.
I'd love to block her and all, but I know for a fact that she's trying to reach out to me on other platforms. I could even try changing my number and block her on all my social media accounts, but she'd figure out another way to find me. And if I were totally cutting her off and never responding to anything she says for a while, she'd probably come right to our house, right?
True. We've already bought the house and everything, so she can just look us up and find this house.
You've already told her no to everything, right?
About her asking to come and live with us? Of course I've told her no already. Not only is she a major troublemaker, but she's also a complete shut-in, so I do not want her coming into our house. I also know very well that she'd start to cause you even more frustration, and I do not want that.
Thank you for understanding.
We really need to figure out a plan, though. If we don't end everything now, she's going to start causing problems for me and my work. I'm already having a hard time focusing there.
Same here. I try taking calls while at work, but while I'm on my phone, I can just hear my phone going off constantly because of her.
She does nothing with her life, so she has all day to just continuously call you.
What I don't understand is that if she wants to move so much into a new place and won't take no for an answer, why doesn't she just find a place for herself?
Because she has no money, and she's so used to having others taking care of her that she would never be able to manage on her own. She'd probably starve if she was kicked out of my parents' house. This is the whole reason why I told my parents to kick her out of their house as soon as possible, so all of that could be avoided.
Well, in her eyes, she sees nothing wrong with still living with your parents. But there's something wrong with it if she's that old.
But it seems that pretty soon here, my parents will both be retiring from their jobs. So I'm thinking once they're ready to retire, they will no longer want to take care of her. I really hope that means they'll force her out of that house.
You think that'll happen?
That's most likely why she's trying to move in with us now, right? She knows it's coming. She also knows about how you and I are working and make some decent money.
She also learned about how we won the lottery, so now she is really aware that we have a lot of money.
I think we're gonna have to cut ties to her here. If not, she's really going to cause us some major headaches. That woman has always been so mean about everything and never takes no for an answer no matter what. We really have to have a plan here, Katie.
Well, if you want a plan, I've had something come to mind.
What's that?
This will require us to get in touch with another retailer, which will cost a bit of money.
If you're worried about money, you don't have to be anymore now that we have money. As long as this will help us get rid of Eleanor, I'm all ears.
So we are both prepared to say goodbye to her forever, right?
Of course, you and I have our life together to look forward to, and it won't involve her.
Then let's talk about what I have in mind tonight when we were both home.
I can't believe what all of our life she's already made a mess of. Our wedding, our honeymoon, not this. I'm so sorry that we haven't been able to have a normal life yet because of her.
Don't worry about it, Jackson. Even with her being a huge pain, she's never made me want to say goodbye to you, and that's why I've started making this plan in my head. So let's talk about it tonight and put it in action.
Thank you so much, Katie. I'll do my best to get home from work early today.
The movers are heading over to your place right now, so make sure you're there to let them in. I don't have the key to your place yet, so you'll have to open the door. What are you talking about, Eleanor? Playing dumb, I see. I've already spoken to both you and Jackson about how I'd be moving in with you guys, right? You guys moved into that house at the beginning of last month as well, right? Hold on a second. We never even told you about where the house we bought was, right? All I had to do was look the both of you up and found the house. You already know about how I'm on my computer all the time, right? I've been using computers for years and years now, and know how to get any information I need to one. So, all I did was ask someone who knew how to find people where you both moved to, and after they told me how to look for you guys on my computer, I did just that, and boom. I get that you can do that, but just how? We made sure not to even post anything about our address and made sure that retail agency didn't upload anything. I was able to take a look at one of your private Instagram accounts. And on there's a picture of you on your day off going to eat, right? You actually upload 2 pictures like that on your account now since you moved. One is the picture of just you and the other is you and Jackson. And how did you find our address with those pictures? The place you guys went to eat was nowhere close to where you both lived before, right? Which means if you guys were going out to eat at a restaurant on your day off and it was in walking distance, you both are living in that area. In the other words, I just had to look up newly built houses in that area to find out where you guys most likely moved into. Then I went and took a trip out there myself to confirm which new house you were moved into, and there I saw your guys' car parked out front. You did all of that? I was also able to pass the restaurant from your photos, and that place was really close to your new house indeed. I also happen to remember how you guys' weddings look, and based off that, I could tell that you guys' sense of style was when I was looking at the house. It's this, right? What? You're kidding, right? I should become a detective or something. Anyways, I know where the both of you are living now, and that means I can move in there by the end of the today. Hold on a second, Eleanor. If you moved out there, the only person who's going to be in any trouble is you. Now, why would I be in any trouble? I'm going to start heading there as well now, so I'll see you really soon. We aren't in that house, though. Huh? Are you both out shopping right now or something? Head back home right now and leave the door open for us. You can do that, right? That's not it at all. Eleanor, look at your phone. You both are still not home yet. I just arrived with the movers. We have to move all of my things into the house now, so hurry up already. Are you trying to make me upset? Well, I have no choice but to let myself in right now. Wait, how are you going to do that? There's nothing even in this house yet. Have you guys not fully moved in yet or something? Hold on. How did you even get in there? I broke in through the window. Duh. I told you that the movers are here and are pulling the trucks in. I can't keep them all waiting, so I had to find a way inside. And let me just say this now. You both are going to have to buy yourselves a new window. I told you I'd be moving in today and said that you needed to be home in order to unlock the door, so this is all your fault. You just broke into a house. I didn't break into just any house, though. This is your guys' house, and since my brother is the one who bought it, that makes it also mine. This house is mine. We are living in a condo, though. What? A condo? What are you talking about? You both bought a brand new house, right? We went and bought a newly built condo. You're lying. You told me before that you guys bought a house. That's when you and I first talked about it, right? And at that time, we were doing all the paperwork and everything for a new house. We had even paid quite a bit for the money already then. Look! You guys won the lottery and you both wanted a brand new house, right? And we did at the time, so we bought a brand new house, but we decided later that we weren't going to live in it. We wanted it in order to sell. In order to sell? The place was already being built at the time we talked with a retailer about it, and by the time it was finished, we decided to buy it. But it wasn't really to our liking in the end, so we decided we'd renovate it a little and sell it. So you guys didn't make that place the way you wanted? Even though you both won the lottery? Yes, we won the lottery, but it was only for a couple 100,000, not millions or billions. Just a couple hundred? That's why we couldn't afford to have a house built to our liking and settle with this place. But when it was finished, we decided to go for a condo instead. You have to be lying. What does this make of the house then? We are living in a condo now, so that place is not our house where we plan to live or anything. It's not even like we really own it anymore either now, since we finished the paperwork for selling it back to our retailer. If that was the case, why didn't you tell me a lot sooner? I've already started to have my stuff moved in here. You can get mad all you want about this, but the other who decided to take matters into her own hands and force herself to come looking for us was you. And you were the one that chose to break into a house that isn't even yours. We are living in a condo in a completely different town right now as well. You're not even in this town? Because of you wanting to live with us so badly, and constantly calling my phone and Jackson's phone nonstop, we had to think of what to do about you. We gave up on that house because it wasn't worth the trouble and asked a new retailer and found us a condo. But you guys already paid for the place, right? You're just going to let it go to waste now? We didn't even think we'd be winning the lottery, so it doesn't feel like a waste to us. And we did sell the place back to the retail agency, so we got around the same amount of money we spent on it from them. Of course, we were still out a couple thousand in the end, but we like to think of it as the price of cutting ties with you. So, with that in mind, this is a great deal for us. I think the total we lost was $5,000. You're cutting ties to me? Since this is a great chance for us right now, we're saying goodbye to you forever. You're kidding me. As a side note, the picture you sent to me of that house, that's not even the house we wanted at the start. We have no idea whose house that is, actually. Where are you even right now, Eleanor? What? Wait, what did you say? What do you mean you don't know? This house is really close to that restaurant the both of you had been going to. Actually, Jackson and I were both afraid of how much of a stalker you'd become, and in order to hide yourselves from you to the point you'd never be able to find our real house, we both went to a completely different town for a bit and have lunch and such. A completely different town? We just went on a drive to somewhere we'd never been before and found that restaurant I posted a couple times of. Then we talked to our new retailer and told them to get us a place that was nowhere near close to that area. No way. So then that means this house I just broke into, it really has nothing to do with you both? This is really hard for me to say to you, but what you've just done is crazy enough to have the police called on you. The police? You did just break into that house through the window, right? But there's nothing even in this house. Is there a paper or anything on the door? Something that says the house has been sold or that the house is in the middle of being cleaned? No, but you mentioned it. There was a paper on the door. I assumed that since you both have money, you paid to have the house cleared by a company. The house you assumed we bought would be newly built, so why would we pay for cleaning already? What? I'm thinking that the house isn't as new as you think and that a new family is just preparing to move in or the owner is preparing to sell it. Wait, what am I going to do here? I've already had the majority of my things moved inside. Come here right now. Bring a truck or something and help me get out of there. Not happening. Why can't you do that for me? I already told you why. Not only is that place very far from our condo, but both Jackson and I are cutting ties to you now. We really don't have anything to do with you anymore, even if you're about to be in major trouble with the law. Then tell me where your condo is right now. I'll get my own truck and build all the things there myself. I don't think you're quite getting what I mean by cutting ties with you. I get that your place isn't as big as a house, but I need to go there. Actually, this place is quite big and around the same size as your average townhouse would be. We had been looking for a place like this for a while as we looked at houses, so when the retailer showed it to us, we jumped. It actually has more square footage than the house we wanted at first, making this place even better when thinking of future children. It's also way outside the area you're currently at, so we don't have to worry about you coming here. I'm actually very thankful for what you've done, because had you not have gone completely crazy, we would have never came across a condo like this. Thank you very much, Eleanor. If you're so thankful for what I've done, then help me get out of this mess right now. If the owner of this house came here right now, I'd be in huge trouble with everyone. All my things are here as well, so I can't just run away. You are old enough to understand the responsibilities that come with being out of your mind, so please take care of them yourself. All of that has nothing to do with us here. We never even agreed to letting you come live with us in the first place, so figure things out yourself. Are you saying you're completely fine with me being arrested by the police right now? Honestly, I don't care what happens to you now.
I'm your husband's older sister, though. And my husband doesn't care about what happens to you either. Excuse me? Take a look at all the things we've said to you before text, and you'll understand that neither of us wanted you to come live with us. We didn't agree with you doing any of what you've done, so you're going to get no help from us. We're not even responsible for you. Hold on a second. A car just pulled in the driveway. That's you guys, right? It has to be. It's your guys' car. We're both in our condo right now. And we're about to watch a movie with some popcorn. And as far as we're aware, our car wasn't stolen from us, so that can't be it. Wait, that means this car is. Perhaps the person that owns the house or one of the retailers for it, or it might even be one of the neighbors coming to see what's going on there. No! I don't want to be arrested. Please come over here and help me right now. I'll tell you where the place is. I told you plenty of times now that we're cutting ties to you, so you're not our problem anymore, Eleanor. We don't want you screwing with our lives anymore, and cutting ties to you was our only option. So you're never going to see either of us or hear from us again. You're lying, right? I am Jackson's sister. You both really plan to just cut me out like this? Hey, Katie? I promise not to ever bother either of you ever again, so please help me here. This is one of the only things I'm asking from you too. Katie! After that, I went ahead and finally put the nail in Eleanor's coffin by blocking her on both my phone and laptop. Jackson also went ahead and blocked her with me. And since then, we've never had issues arise with her. From what we heard from Jackson's family, Eleanor ended up getting into some legal troubles with the owner of that house after the police were called on her and took her to the local police station. A case was made against her for breaking and entering into the owner's home, and she would have to attend to court hearing about what happened to her. It was decided that she'd have to pay 10 times what the cost of fixing that window would be, as well as live with the crime of breaking and entering of her permanent record forever. After all that was decided upon, she tried to go back home to her parents, but neither of them nor the rest of the family would let her move back in. So she's currently living life in a tiny apartment, working at the local gas station in order to survive. It is going to be some time before she can pay off everything she owes to that victim, so until that day's come, she's going to be living in regret for all of her actions. She has always been a useless shut-in, so I find what happened very good for her, as it finally teaches her what being part of the real world is like.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
Sarah, where are you going? Are you really leaving? I don't understand. The wedding is just about to start. Yeah, duh. Why do you think I'm leaving while I have the chance? Did you think I was actually gonna sit there and watch the person I hate more than anyone else in the world get married? Don't forget, Julie, I still haven't given you my approval to marry my brother, and I never will. I know that, Sarah. You've made very clear that you aren't happy about our relationship. But that's no reason to throw a piece of garbage at me and walk out the door. I can't believe you would do something so mean-spirited to me, and at my wedding, too. You don't have to like me, but I'd like to think that you have enough self-control to not do this sort of thing. What did you say? Did you say piece of garbage? You pitiful little ingrate. That was my wedding present to you. If you would have opened it up, you would have seen what I got for you, but I guess you're too good for my present, huh? A present? But this envelope is completely empty. There's not even a card inside. Even if there was, it would have gotten ruined when you crumpled it up to throw it at me. Yeah, that's exactly my point. I gave you a present that reflects how much you mean to me. Nothing. Not even $5 on a wedding card from the supermarket. I guess you really meant it when you said you didn't want to celebrate our wedding with us. Listen, Sarah, would you mind telling me why it is so much that you hate me? Have I ever done anything to you to deserve this kind of treatment? I know you and Neil always had a very close sibling relationship, and maybe you feel like I'm coming between the two of you. But do you really need to hate me this much? Shut up! I don't have to answer to you. It's all your fault for being the way you are. I'm well within my rights to hate you. Ever since you barged your way into Neil's life, everything's been going downhill for me. What do you mean? I mean, you're tearing our family apart. Before you came along, I was a star of the show. Everyone always treated me like an angel. They talked to me like I was the cutest thing they had ever seen. But then you showed up on our doorstep, and everyone started ignoring me completely. Now they're all like, oh wow, did you see Julie's dress? Did you see her hairstyle? Julie, 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 Julie! Everyone in my family is talking about you all the time. I don't think that's really the case, Sarah. I mean, maybe they're talking about me a little bit more than usual lately, but I'm sure that only has to do with the wedding. Things will go back to normal when it's finished. I don't want to wait that long. I shouldn't have to either. What really grinds my gears is the impact you've had on Neil. He's my brother, but now he spends all his time with you. It used to be that I could call him any time of the day, and he would drop whatever he was doing to come over and see me. But now, I call him at night wanting to talk, and he just replies, "Sorry, I'm sleepy." Oh, and don't even get me started on how much you've reduced the amount of presents I get from him. The other day, I asked him to buy me a new handbag, and do you know what he told me? He said he couldn't because you were saving up to buy a house together. Don't you get it, Julie? You've completely ruined this family. That's, wow, Sarah. I don't really feel like any of that is my fault. Or even a bad thing at all. Well, you feel wrong. It is all your fault. You are responsible for ruining my life, and I will hate you forever for it. I'm not gonna watch the Wicked Witch of the West get married to my brother, and I'm not giving you any wedding gifts. Every single cent I spend on you would be a waste.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Sarah. But if that's your position, so be it. Just know that I'm cutting off your allowance now.
Huh?
It's me, Sarah. I took the liberty of observing your conversation with Julie, and let me say I am positively disgusted at the atrocious way you've been speaking to Julie. She's my wife and your sister-in-law. How dare you treat her like that?
Wait, Neil, is that really you?
I thought I was clear with you when we talked about this before. I told you very explicitly to knock off this bizarre personal vendetta you have against Julie. You can't tell me you don't remember that. You promised me you would stop. But from the looks of things, you're being just as psychotic to her as you've ever been. Maybe even more.
Neil, listen. You have to understand.
If you don't want to watch us get married, fine. Leave. Go home. If you don't want to have a decent relationship with Julie, fine. Just don't interact with her. Simple as that. But there's no changing my mind about this, Sarah. I'm not giving you one single solitary cent of spending money ever again.
No, you can't do that to me, Neil.
It's been over 2 years now since you lost your job when your old company went bankrupt. I've been more than generous to you in helping you get by, but that all ends today. I simply cannot allow myself to continue to finance the lifestyle of someone who treats my wife like you do. It would be a betrayal of my responsibility as her husband.
Please, Neil, wait. Can we talk about this? I still haven't found a new job yet. You can't cut off my allowance while I'm still looking for work, can you?
Listen, Sarah, and listen well. The truth is, I was intending to cut off your allowance a full year ago, but I was convinced by a certain someone to keep sending you money. Do you know who that certain someone was? It was Julie.
What?
We're just having our wedding now, but we got legally married around that time. I started thinking about our future and thought it would be the best for us to save up as much as we could. And it was precisely that reason that I thought about cutting you off. But when I brought that idea up with Julie, she said that she wanted me to continue to support you. She told me that just because I got married to her doesn't mean I have to stop being a good big brother to my dear little sister.
I had no idea.
That's why I decided to continue to send you money every month until you managed to find new full-time employment. I wanted to help you get back on your feet. And how did you repay Julie for that kindness? By throwing an empty envelope at her and calling it a wedding present? Julie might forgive you for that, but I never will. You're not getting any more money out of me, so get out of here and don't come back.
Neil, how could you? What happened to the kind, gentle, loving, protective big brother I used to know? I want him back. Give me back the real Neil.
This is the real me, Sarah. This is how I talk to people who offend me personally, like you have. If you're not here to celebrate, then you don't belong here. Get out. And once you get home, pick up the help wanted ads and start making phone calls.
Hey there, Sarah. I just wanted to check in on you after last night. Have you calmed down a little bit? Did you make it home all right?
Why are you bothering me, Julie? You're the last person I wanted to hear from today. I'd like to completely forget you ever existed, really.
Goodness gracious, Sarah. You sure are dedicated to hating me, aren't you?
Of course I am. My own brother hates my guts now thanks to you. He's never gotten that mad at me before over anything. Not even once. We used to be famous throughout the neighborhood as the friendliest brother and sister combo around. But that's ancient history now, and it's all your fault.
If I may point this out, I'd say it was actually all because you threw that envelope at me at our wedding. I guess you thought he wasn't looking, but apparently he saw the whole thing.
Shut up! I'm not gonna let you avoid the blame for ruining my life, Julie. You made him cut off my allowance. I thought I was gonna be able to count on that money until I found a new job. That allowance was the only reason I've been able to get by for this long. I hate you! I hate you! I hate you! I hate your guts, and I never want to hear from you again!
I'm sorry you feel that way, Sarah. But if that's what you want, I'll respect your wishes. I do have one more very important thing to talk to you about, though. Could you just give me a little bit more of your time?
You want to talk to me? About what?
I'm sure you'd prefer to keep this conversation as brief as possible, so I'm going to get straight to the point, okay? Do you by any chance know what happened to the bag that contained all the cash gifts we received yesterday?
Are you serious? What are you asking me a stupid question like that for? No, I don't know where your stupid money is. As soon as Neil told me to get out, I left right away.
Oh, I see.
What's the matter, Julie? Did all your precious money go missing? Aw, what a damn shame. I'll bet you were counting on that money to pay for your fancy wedding. Seriously, though, all those people gave you generous cash gifts out of kindness of their hearts, and you go and lose the bag you put it all in? Wow, I feel bad for those suckers.
Well, it's not entirely accurate to say we lost the bag. It's much more bizarre than that. The bag was still there, and all the envelopes were in there too. Or at least we thought. But actually, they had all been replaced with a bunch of empty envelopes, so someone must have gone in and swapped out the envelopes. But I have no idea who did it or when.
Oh my god, is that what you're asking me? You think I'm the one who did it? What kind of psychopath suspects their own sister-in-law of stealing their wedding presents? You've got to be the worst sister-in-law in the entire world.
That's not it at all, Sarah. I'm asking you because I want to believe that it wasn't you.
Huh?
The truth is, I'm the only one who knows that all the envelopes were switched out. I just know that if I were to let Neil know about it, he'd absolutely freak out. I'm positive that you would be the first person that he'd suspect of doing it, and I didn't want that to happen. I already feel bad enough about what's happened between you and Neil. I'd hate to create any more tension. And that's why I'm talking to you right now, to try and prove your innocence before I talk to Neil.
Hold it right there. Why would you think that Neil would suspect me of taking your money?
Well, if you'll forgive me saying, you certainly do have a substantial motive.
Oh yeah? And what would that be?
Well, it's quite simple. You've been unemployed for over 2 years now. You still haven't found a new job, and you were just told that your only real source of income currently, the money Neil's sending you, is getting cut off. It wouldn't be much of a stretch to believe that you were afraid of losing your lifestyle, so you took the money on your way out.
I don't believe you. You would actually suspect that I was involved over such flimsy reasoning as that? That's pretty low, Julie. Maybe I might just go and have a little talk about this situation with my brother. I'm sure he'd love to hear about how his wife accused his darling, precious, beloved little sister of being a dirty thief. That would show him just what a wicked monster you are. I'll bet my parents will be thoroughly disgusted with you too. They're gonna have a lot to say to you once they find out, and none of it is gonna be good. Your days of being the star of the family are over, Julie.
Well, Sarah, based on how strongly you're protesting right now, maybe you're telling the truth and you are innocent after all.
Duh! That's what I've been saying this whole time, you dummy. Oh, I can't believe I was accused of such a terrible crime with no evidence by my own sister-in-law. I'm afraid that the emotional suffering you've just caused me will never heal. I'll have no choice but to sue you to recover the cost of the therapy I now need. Unless, of course, you're willing to settle out of court.
Wait, are you threatening to sue me?
You lost a bag containing thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars in cash through your own carelessness. And on top of that, you tried to push the blame off on me. This settles it. I am definitely going to tell my brother on you. That'll snap both him and my idiot parents out of the stupid hypnotic spell you've put them all under. I hope you're ready to be a divorced 30-something, Julie. Oh dear, I certainly would like to avoid that. Let me just ask you one more time though. You really don't know what happened to the money we received yesterday at the wedding, right? How many times do I have to tell you? You're being super obnoxious right now. If you want to accuse me of stealing your money, then you had better have some damn good evidence to back that accusation up. But you don't have any evidence at all, do you? I do, actually. Give me 1 second and I can show you. Huh? Actually, it just so happens that one of my friends put an air tag inside the envelope that she gave me. An air tag? What's that? Think of it as a small tracking device. It uses GPS to tell you whatever you attached it to is. She's a bit of, shall we say, a forgetful girl? So she attaches air tags to basically everything she owns. Her cell phone, wallet, handbag, car keys, you name it. And she apparently even put one in the envelope she gave me just in case she dropped it on the way to the chapel. She was intending to take it out before giving it to me, but oopsie doopsie, I guess she forgot. Wait, so you mean there's a GPS tracking device inside one of those envelopes right now? That's right. And there's one other interesting feature they have. If you use the app that they're paired with, they even make a beeping sound to help you find them. Isn't technology amazing? Yeah, amazing. Isn't technology wonderful? Right? These things have got to be one of the best products ever. Even if they're in a box or somewhere the beeping can't be heard, you can still just track them with GPS like normal. I actually have the app open right now, and I have the precise address where the AirTag is located. And funnily enough, the address here is your apartment building. That's impossible! I know, right? That's what's so confusing to me. It couldn't possibly be at your house. You told me very clearly that you don't know where the envelopes are. So, I don't know. It must be some kind of a mistake. Maybe there's a problem with the signal. I guess I'll go ahead and give the beeping thing a try. Hey, I'm Julie. All right, here goes. It's gonna make a big beeping sound once I push this button. Oh, and one more thing. I'm actually standing outside your room right now. If I set this thing to beep at the maximum possible volume, I'll bet I'll even be able to hear it from inside. What? You're here? That's not fair. I mean, what are you doing here? And don't push that button. You can't. If it's as loud as you say it is, the neighbors might complain to the property manager about me. And what are you so worried about, Sarah? You said they're not at your house, right? If that's true, then you shouldn't have anything to be afraid of. Please don't do it. Stop, I mean it. I'll give them all back, okay? Just please don't push that button. Huh? That's strange. You'll give them back? What do you mean, Sarah? Oh no. Don't tell me, Sarah. Does that mean that you are really the one who stole our wedding gifts last night? Was that a confession just now? You really pissed me off, you know that? This isn't fair. I had no idea you were going to use a dirty trick like this to catch me. You knew it was me from the very beginning. Your whole, I have no idea who it is thing was just an act. Pretty good, wasn't it? And hey, don't pretend like I'm the bad guy here. You should have confessed when I gave you the chance. Oh, and even before that, you shouldn't have taken our money in the first place. Shut up, shut up, shut up! I didn't do anything wrong. You tricked me. You left me with no other choice than to take all that money. You're gonna have to explain that one. This is what you wanted to happen all along. It was all your plan. You made Neil cut off my allowance, so I would become desperate for money. Then you left that bag out in the open to tempt me into stealing it. Then you could make me seem like the worst person in the world for stealing your wedding gifts. And that would further cement your position as Mom, Dad, and Neil's favorite. You suck, Julie. That's the most evil, sadistic plan I've ever heard of. Sarah, I think you've been watching a few too many conspiracy theory YouTube videos. You think I wanted all of this to happen? Are you serious? Tell me where I'm wrong, Julie. Did you or did you not make Neil cut off my allowance? Did you or did you not leave the bag out in the open? Yes and yes. I'm on to you, Julie. I hate to say it, but it was actually all Neil's decision to cut off your allowance. I didn't make him do anything. You're lying. I know you're lying. You must have been the one who made him do it. I never wanted to steal your money. You cooked up this wicked, dastardly plan to leave me with no choice but to do it. How dare you use my ill inability to find a new job against me? You're a sociopath. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm the victim. Your victim. My goodness, Sarah. That is quite the story you've written for yourself there. You admit to stealing the money, but also want to claim that I'm somehow responsible for it? All to avoid the responsibility for your own actions? I'm speechless. I don't know what to say, Sarah. You've stumped me. Just go ahead and push that stupid button. Go on, make all the noise you want. I'll give you back all your stupid wedding money, but don't think for even 1 second that I'm gonna apologize for anything. I will never budge in this. You're responsible for everything, not me.
You don't need to apologize to me, Sarah. As a matter of fact, I would strongly recommend you exercise your Fifth Amendment rights, starting now.
Huh?
Julie told me that I needed to hurry over to your apartment right away. So here I am. And let me tell you what, this is not what I was expecting to find. This is the last straw, Sarah. I'm done using kid gloves with you.
Wait, I don't understand. What are you doing here, Neil? Julie told me that she was the only one who knew about the wedding money. I thought she hadn't told you anything about what happened yet.
And you thought right. Up until a few moments ago, I was completely in the dark. But then I got a phone call from Julie telling me the money from our wedding had gone missing, and she thought you were the one who took it. On top of that, she had you dead to rights, but you still refused to confess. That's why she called me over here.
No! I can't believe she actually called you over here. She's such a dirty coward.
You're not in any position to be talking about Julie like that. My God in heaven, Sarah, you stole the wedding gifts from your own brother's wedding. What the hell is wrong with you?
But what was I supposed to do, Neil? You told me you were cutting off my allowance. I had no choice. But listen, you've got to believe me. This was all Julie's evil plot against me. She's the one who made this all happen in order to tear us even further apart.
I can't talk to you anymore. I've had enough. We're going to the police station together and making a quick stop at Mom and Dad's house first. Once you've told them the whole story, you're gonna turn yourself in to the police.
No, please, anything but that. Mom and Dad are gonna be so angry at me if they find out.
Yeah, that's exactly why we're gonna see them. You need to be taught a lesson that you'll never forget.
Please, Julie, you've got to do something. Neil's dead serious right now. He's actually gonna make me talk to the police. Oh, you mean you're still at your house? I thought that you would have already been at the police station by this point in time. Part of me kind of wishes I was there already. I've been getting the lecture of a lifetime from my parents since the second I walked in the door. Mom slapped me, and Dad's just staring at me with this really scary look in his face. I tried explaining the situation to them, but no matter what, they refuse to see things my way. They just keep telling me to tell it to the judge and get a really good lawyer. So I ran out of the room and locked myself in the bathroom. Can you really blame them for being furious with you, though? I mean, their own daughter turned out to be nothing more than a petty criminal. But what's the big deal? I gave back the money, didn't I? If you got all your money back, why am I still in trouble? Do you want me to say I'm sorry? Fine, I'm sorry. I'll be really, really nice to you from now on and never steal anything from you ever again. There, I said it. Now, please, you have to do something. Will you stop objecting to me and Neil being married? I'll never complain about you ever again. And I'll save up money to get you guys a super great wedding present. Wow, really? That's so great to hear. I'm glad you finally come to accept our relationship. But it's too late for you. Huh? I mean, good grief, Sarah. I've put up with far too much from you for far too long already. Do you have any idea how hard it was not to immediately tell Neil that you stole our wedding money? I was holding out hope that you would admit that what you did and have a change of heart. But yet again, you threw my kindness right back in my face, just like you did with that envelope at the wedding. Not only that, you belted out this insane conspiracy theory about how I was the one who orchestrated everything. Well, you see, I'm a very patient person, but even I have my limits, and you cross them. I don't need you to approve of our relationship. If you want to hate me, that's fine. I've decided to hate you right back. No! Oh, and I also don't need a wedding present from you either. Now get out of the bathroom, get in the car, and go to the police station without putting up a fight. Julie, wait. I'm gonna get a job right away, okay? Like, right away. I'll even pay back Neil for all the money he's given me for the last 2 years. So please, don't make me go to the police. Have mercy on me. If you want to get a job, then I'd say going to the police is your best bet. There are all sorts of training programs available to prison inmates at next to no charge. You'll also have plenty of opportunities to gain experience working for $1 an hour on a chain gang. Julie! No! You've got the chance to write an incredible comeback memoir. You fell so low that you stole your brother's wedding money, went to jail, but then got out and turned your life around. You'll go right to the top of the bestseller list. Neil's entire family went along to the police station with Sarah. The police suggested handling the matter within the family, but all 3 of them said that they don't consider her family anymore. It was her first offense, so she was never in any real danger of a prison sentence, but she was socked with a lot of community service, along with restitution to me. I understand she's currently working somewhere through a temp agency and hoping to get hired permanently. Despite everything, I still do wish her the best of luck.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
How dare you trying to flirt with another woman's man? What is the matter with you, you creepy little stalker? You've got some nerve, do you know that? I'm sorry, what are you talking about? I really have no idea what this could be about at all. I am talking about that man, and don't pretend like you don't know who I'm talking about. I just want you to know that he is my boyfriend, and you are just the ex that he wants nothing to do with. You're just old baggage from his past, and he doesn't want you in his life anymore. Don't you get that? I'm sorry. I don't even have this number saved in my phone. Just who am I even talking to right now? I mean, are you sure that you have the right number? I think that you might be talking to the wrong person. I know that I have the right number. There's no way that I would make a mistake about this. And I know for a fact that you're Jonathan's ex-girlfriend who keeps stalking him. Sorry, you think that I'm Jonathan's ex-girlfriend? Don't you play stupid with me! You know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to let you go and pretend otherwise. You're Jonathan's ex, just admit it. Well, I just want you to know that Jonathan and I are married now. Do you know what that means? It means that he doesn't want you in his life any longer. Wait, what? You two are married? Are you serious? Did you really marry Jonathan? You mean that you didn't even know? What kind of horrible stalker are you if you didn't even figure that out? Although, I suppose someone like you would be shocked about this. A stalker like you is probably always holding out hope that you and your ex are going to be back together any day now. But you should know that I'm the one that he married, not you. So how about you finally just give this all up? Because John is my man and nobody else's. Got it? Okay, now hold on just a second here. I think that there's been some kind of misunderstanding. First of all, I am not his ex-girlfriend at all, okay? Excuse me? Don't you dare try and pretend like you're going to correct me if you're just going to lie to my face. I saw the two of you out on dates before. But now you're trying to pretend like you're not his ex that he broke up with and wants nothing to do with anymore? I knew that you were a little crazy, but this is just too much. I'm sorry, but I really don't think that you have a single clue about who you're talking to right now. Why don't you just give it a rest already and face up to the facts of reality, huh? And those facts are that you are Jonathan's ex-girlfriend and that you are still madly in love with him. You've been chasing after him all of this time since you two broke up, but you're nothing but a bad memory at this point. So you're the one that's wrong in all of this because John simply doesn't want you anymore. You're just an ugly fatty who needs to learn her place. Excuse me? What did you just call me? Are you kidding me right now? You do realize that Jonathan works for a very large and powerful company, don't you? He's a very high-paid employee on track to become management. He makes hundreds of thousands of dollars every year and is one of the hardest working men that I know. So he's not just some ordinary guy that anyone can date, especially not an ugly, fat stalker such as yourself. You never even had a chance with him. Okay, first of all, I don't see why you need to resort to name calling for any of this. Second of all, you're the one who started texting me out of nowhere to accuse me of all these things that I'm just not. You're being incredibly rude right now, and it's preventing us from having a real conversation. Oh, just shut up already, you ugly cow. How dare an uggo like you think that you have any right to talk back to a pretty girl like me? Are you kidding me right now? I mean, are you even reading these messages that you're sending me? Look, I've seen what you look like on your social media, and I know that you're nothing but a fat, ugly woman who should be embarrassed to post photos of her own face. But I'll also have you know that whenever I post a selfie, my posts always get hundreds and hundreds of likes from all of my adoring followers. And that's why I was obviously the right choice to marry John. Look, you crazy lady. I'm trying to tell you that I am not John's ex. Him and I have never, ever dated. Don't you get that? You can go on all that you like, but you're still nothing but a stalker, and that's all you'll ever be. Especially now that John and I are married, now the chances that you two will ever get back together really are zero. So why don't you just give it up already and quit following John around? Hey, John, do you have a second? Because I'm talking to this woman who keeps telling me she's your wife.
Wait, what? What's this all about? I hardly even hear from you, Sally.
I know, but I just really need to know. Did you get married today?
Well, yes, I did get married. It's actually our anniversary today. Of course, I really did want to introduce my wife to everyone before it happened, but... well, everyone was just so busy with work and all, and I couldn't get any time off to arrange a proper meeting, so it just kind of happened that we got legally married today. Is this why you wanted to message me? I know that I should have introduced her to Mom and Dad first, but...
No, that's not what this is about at all. If anything, I think it's too bad since now that means you can't go back without lots of trouble. But anyways, I just want to talk to you about something, and I ask that you believe me, because I just wish that you would have told us a little earlier that we could have found out the kind of person your wife really was.
Oh, well, if that's what this is about, then you've got nothing to worry about at all. Julia's a really sweet lady. She's so quiet and thoughtful, too. I mean... this is a little cheesy to say, but she really is my dream woman.
Are you kidding me? Is that really the kind of person that you think you've married?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think that she's way too pretty for me, so I always get flustered around her. But we actually met because I rescued her from some guys who were catcalling her. I thought that she would have been cold to me after all that happened, but she was really sweet and got along quickly after all. And as a way to say thanks, on the day that I helped her out, she gave me her number. After that, it was really only a matter of time until we were dating.
I see. And you're saying that Julia is a sweet, quiet, thoughtful person, is that right?
Yeah, she really is great, and I've been thinking that you two would probably get along really well. In fact, I would really like it if you two could meet, so I know that we're getting the order a bit backwards. But how's this weekend work to meet?
Oh, I'm really sorry to say, but I'm actually going to France next weekend. Although, I would really like to meet her as soon as possible. She is your wife, after all.
Man, you really do know how to keep busy all of the time, don't you? Can't you ever catch a vacation?
No, I'm afraid that my job loves to fly me around for all kinds of things, and they aren't really as generous with time off as your job is. But it's okay, because I really love my job, so even traveling, it's okay. And of course, they compensate me really well, so...
Well, I just think that it's unfortunate that we'll have to put off you meeting my wife, but I guess that means that the first time you meet her in person might be at the wedding.
Yes, I suppose that's how it's going to be shaking out at this point, right? Of course, meeting your wife for the first time at your guys' wedding has me a bit nervous. I just hope that we really do get along.
I don't think you have anything to worry about in the slightest. I mean, I really think she is so kind, and there's no way you wouldn't get along well. So I really don't think there's any need to be nervous about meeting her at all. Things are gonna go great.
I know, I just... Do you ever worry if maybe she's just playing a character? I mean, what if that woman isn't the woman that she says she is?
I'm sorry, Sally. But I really don't think you have any idea what you're talking about when it comes to that. I know Julia, and she is a kind, sweet woman who wouldn't hurt a fly. Anyways, I think that I need to turn in for the night, but good luck with your business trip. We have a lot of planning to get on with this wedding, but we'll see you there.
What do you think you're doing here, you stalker freak? I thought I told you that I wanted you to give up on John. Why can't you just leave him alone? Are you kidding me right now? Are you still seriously keeping this up? Well, I thought that I had finally seen the last of you, and that you were finally going to leave him alone. But now you've gone and snuck into our wedding? When is a fat, ugly woman like you finally going to realize that nobody wants you around anymore? You really have some nerve, do you know that? Okay, I'm sorry, but there has been some kind of miscommunication somewhere, and you really need to understand that I'm not John's ex. Okay, please. You really are just delusional, do you know that? What are you going to tell me, that you still want to try and marry him even though we're already married? I really don't even know what to say to you. Why are you acting this way towards me? This is really uncalled for. I can act whatever way I want with you, because it's my wedding and I'm the main character. So if I want to try and kick you out of my wedding, then I have the right to. But why can't you just stop all of this and listen to what it is I have to tell you? Why in the world should I stop and read what a crazy stalker like you has to say? I want you out of here, and I'm not going to let you buy time. In fact, I think I'm going to call the police and have them drag you out of here. So what do you think about that? How do you think you'll feel when you're being dragged out of this wedding? Are you serious? You're really going to call the cops on me? Have you lost your mind? Oh, you're right. That isn't nearly enough punishment for you. I need everyone to know what a crazy stalker you are, so I'll be putting up photos of you getting arrested so everyone knows to watch out for you. What is your deal? You're taking this way too far right now. Do you know that? That's right. You're scared to have everyone know the kind of person that you really are, isn't that right? You're so scared for me to post photos of you getting kicked out of here. But the real joke is that I've already taken photos of you and sent them to my mother-in-law and John's family, all to tell them to avoid talking to you. You mean that you really sent photos to John's family calling me a stalker? Are you serious? That's right. And before long, everyone is going to be mad that you're even here, and nobody will care if I throw you out of here. And then finally, I'll tell John to step forward while you're crying and in handcuffs, so that he can tell you to your face that you two are broken up and that he doesn't want anything to do with you ever again. Then maybe you'll finally learn your lesson about messing with me. You really don't even realize what you've done right now, do you? What in the world are you talking about? I haven't even gotten started with you, really. You're just a girl that nobody would ever want to date who can't get over the one lucky break that she had. But if you don't get out of here right now, I really will call the cops on you and have them drag you out of here in the most humiliating way possible. Okay then. I guess you can tell John that his little sister went home early. Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about now? I mean that I'm sick and tired of explaining to you that John and I never ever were dating. Do you understand that? But don't worry. If he asks why I wasn't at his wedding for the entire time, I'll just tell him that it was you that told me to go home. But I do really hope that you two are able to have a good ceremony after I've gone and I'm not here anymore. But wait! This doesn't make any sense at all. Are you really John's little sister? I mean, is John really your older brother? That's right, and it's what I've been trying to tell you this entire time. I'm Sally, John's little sister, and John is my big brother and always has been. I'm sorry that we haven't been able to meet in person this entire time, but my work keeps me very busy with all kinds of business trips, and we just weren't able to work something out. But wait, this has to be some sort of lie or something like that, right? I mean, you can't actually really be his little sister, right? I mean, this whole time I thought you were his ex-girlfriend. Yes, well, I do love my big brother a lot, but only as a sister. And like I said, we've never ever dated or anything like that. What? How can this be? I really had no idea about this at all. This is all such a surprise to me right now because I had no idea that that was the case the entire time. Yes, well, I did try to correct you for a long time, but you refused to believe that I was anything but a stalker and a former lover of John's. But it's like I'm saying to you right now, John and I are brother and sister, so there's no way at all that I would ever date him. And now you've gone and insulted me to the point that I want to leave this wedding and never come back. I mean, really, did you know that I had just gotten off of a 10-hour flight before coming here? I'm way too exhausted to deal with this crap now. But, I mean, I don't get it. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. I remember when we started dating, I made John take down a bunch of photos that he had in his room, and some of them were of you. I was worried that he hadn't gotten over his exes, and he told me that those photos meant a lot to him. Well, it sounds like to me that you just demanded that he take down family photos in his own room. And if he did have photos of me, it's probably because, as I already mentioned to you in a previous message, my job is always sending me away on business trips. So John and I hardly get to see each other anymore. But then, doesn't that mean that I was just acting totally controlling and making John put away important family photos? Yeah, that's actually exactly what that sounds like to me. Although, I assume that you used those photos to track me down, right? That's right! I was looking for your social media accounts using those photos until I was finally able to find you. And so you found my social media account but didn't double take at all that John and I had the same last name? You think that I'm going to dig that deeply into some silly little ex of my now husband? No way! I just thought that you were a crazy stalker wanting to get back with him. Not only that, but I guess I was just so worried that John might still have feelings for you. I mean, he had photos of you and he talked about how amazing you are all the time, and I just thought that he still had some hang-ups with his ex. That's why when I saw that you were still trying to spend time with him and be with him, I was worried that you were one of his exes and were trying to steal him away from me. Wait, what? You mean he really talked about me all that much to you? That is actually just so embarrassing for me. But anyways, you should know that John actually did have an ex who was hung up on. So it's possible you were seeing some of his posts about her, and were assuming they were about me. But I guess that's just what you get for not doing your due diligence and actually doing any proper investigating at all. Oh man, this is actually so embarrassing that John was talking about me like that. I knew that he missed me a lot, but I guess I just didn't quite realize how much. But then, are you telling me that this entire time I've just been getting every single tiny detail of all of these assumptions that I've been making completely wrong? Is that really what's going on here? Yeah, I mean, that seems to be what has actually been going on this entire time. Of course, I knew from the very start that you didn't have a clue what you were talking about at all. But yeah, in case I haven't been able to make the point clear enough by now, I am not John's ex. I never was his ex. John and I never, ever dated. And the reason for all of those is because he and I are brother and sister. Not only that, but I have a boyfriend. But anyways, I've had enough disrespect from you, and I think that I'm just gonna go home now. I don't know why I would put up with any more of this from you. Wait, no, please, you can't go. I really didn't realize that I was making these mistakes at all. Please, you have to understand that this is all just a huge misunderstanding. I mean, you have to know that if I knew that you were John's sister, that I would never have treated you the way that I did. I mean it. I just didn't know that you were his sister is all. But I see that it was a mistake this entire time, and I realize what it is that I was mistaken about. So please don't go. I need you here. I don't know what's going to happen when John realizes that I've scared off his sister from his wedding. Yeah, well, you've basically spoiled my appetite for being there, and I don't plan on coming back at all. You made all kinds of horrible assumptions about who I was, then you started saying all kinds of mean insults to me, all because you didn't bother to check that you were working with the correct information. You've been nothing but unpleasant to deal with this entire time, and I don't really see why I should do anything for you after all that you've put me through at this point. Please don't say that. You have to know that I just didn't have all of the information that I needed. I didn't have the full picture, and that's why I said what I said and did the things that I did. But you have to know that if I knew that you were John's family, then I would never, ever have said any of those things to you at all. It's all just one big, huge mistake. Huge mistake or no, the huge mistake was done by you. And huge mistake or no, but you still acted horrible when you were working under all these false premises. So no, I'm not going to do anything to help you now. Got it? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back home and get rest. And you can explain to my brother why it is that his little sister isn't at his wedding. After that, I did exactly what I told Julia I would do, and I went home and took a long nap to recover from a long flight that I had arrived on this morning. When I woke up, it was several missed messages from both Julia and John. Julia was begging me to come back to the wedding, each message getting more and more desperate than the last one. Meanwhile, John's messages revealed that he eventually did notice that I was gone and asking where I was. Finally, I assumed that Julia must have come clean to John about what had happened between us, because John texted me saying that the wedding was off and that he was so sorry for the way that his wife had treated me. While I didn't want to be the reason John got a divorce, he also got married without ever introducing his fiancée to the family at all. I told him that he was an adult who could make his own decisions, but that he shouldn't divorce just because of me. Still, John and Julia did end up getting divorced, and John still apologizes for all the things that she said to me to this day.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.